Hey guys, let's talk Bible. Do you guys remember the story of Jacob and Esau? So, many years ago, if you don't know, Jacob and Esau are the sons of Isaac, and Isaac is the son of Abraham. Now, during this time, Esau and Jacob growing up were at odds. Not at odds, but they were very different. Esau was more of a hunter, while Jacob was more of an at-home guy. He's the guy behind the desk. Esau's the one who's the soldier, right? So if you go back and have read, we remember that there was a time when Esau gave his birthright to Jacob. And because of that, Esau ended up hating his birthright, right? Now, we also go back to a time where Jacob stole Esau's blessing. So how this story goes is Esau was looking, he was told by his father to go and hunt some food, bring it back, cook it up for him. And when he does, he's going to bless him, right? Isaac's wife overheard, prepared a meal for Jacob to take to his father. Isaac at this time was blind. And Jacob takes that meal to his father, and the father, Isaac, he ends up blessing Jacob instead. So Jacob steals Esau's blessing. Now, if you go back and read, you know that this was prophesied, right? The Lord prophesied it and told, I'm sorry, I totally forgot what Isaac's wife's name is. But if you remember, just drop that in the comments below for me. But in prayer, the Lord had already told her that the older would serve the younger, right? The older brother would serve the younger brother, or Esau would serve Jacob. Now, just to skip through majority of all of that, because I just literally sat on that for a while, what I wanted to just talk about here, and it's nothing crazy, nothing in depth. I just wanted to pick your brains yet again, right? As we do for Let's Talk Bible. So if we take a trip on over to Genesis chapter 33, right? Go ahead and get your Bibles. I'm going to go ahead and read mine. I probably look crazy reading in the middle of the street, but aside. And Jacob lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, Esau was coming, and 400 men with him. So he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the two female servants. Now, to give you a little bit of context, because Esau realized that he learned that Jacob had stole his blessing. And because of that, Isaac, what he ended up doing was it's really not a curse, but what he ended up doing was, in blessing Esau, he made it that Esau would serve Jacob. And Esau didn't like that. So Esau plotted that once Isaac died, he was going to kill Jacob. But one of the servants had warned his wife. And his wife, because she loved Jacob so much, warned him and sent him to go and live with his uncle, right? And that becomes a whole thing. That's where he gets married to Rachel, Leah, and their slaves. And they have the 12 tribes of Israel. Technically 11, but yeah. So now going forward, we learn, right, that Jacob is afraid of his brother. He feels his brother is going to kill him for what he has done. So Jacob humbles himself. He prays. If you watch one of my previous videos, I spoke about how Jacob had prayed and asked the Lord for covering and protection, and revealing to him that he feared his brother, that he was afraid of him. So in chapter 33, this is where it's talking about what essentially comes next. Right, so it goes, so he divided the children among Leah and Rachel and the two female servants, and he put the servants with their children in front, then Leah with her children, and Rachel and Joseph last of all. He himself went on before them, bowing himself to the ground 7 times until he came near to his brother. But Esau ran to meet him and embraced him and fell on his neck and kissed him, and they wept. And when Esau lifted up his eyes and saw the women and children, he said, "Who are these with you?" Jacob said, "The children whom," oh, I'm sorry. Jacob said, "The children whom God has graciously given your servant." Then the servants drew near, they and their children, and bowed down. Leah likewise and her children drew near and bowed down. And last, Joseph and Rachel drew near, and they bowed down. Now we know Jacob purposely set the slaves first, then Leah, then Rachel, in the order of whom he loved most, right? He loved Rachel most. He loved Joseph most. And essentially, yeah, that's how it went. He kept Rachel further away from Esau, just in case Esau and his 400 men did decide to attack, because he loved them most. And he humbled himself as a protector of his family, right? He went ahead of them. Now, I'm sorry. So Esau said, "What do you mean by all this company that I met?" Jacob answered, "To find favor in the sight of my Lord, little L." But Esau said, "I have enough, my brother. Keep what you have for yourself," Jacob said. Keep what you have for yourself. Jacob said, "No, please, if I have found favor in your sight, then accept my present from my hand, for I have seen your face," which is like seeing the face of God, "and you have accepted me. Please accept my blessing that is brought to you, because God has dealt graciously with me, and because I have enough." Thus he urged him, and he took it. So what Jacob is doing here is he's humbling himself to his brother, right? And if there's even an inkling of an idea that my brother is going to kill me, I'm going to humble myself and make myself small before him, little before him, right? When I look upon you, it says here, right? If we go right back to what verse is this? Verse 10. "For I have seen your face," which is like seeing the face of God. When you see the face of God, you better bow down, right? You better humble yourself. That's a God that does not play. He has no favorites. We are his children, but he has no favorites. Humble yourself before our God, or he will humble you himself. All right. And so in the same way, in the same likeness, Jacob humbled himself before his brother, right? Seeking to be a peacemaker, right? Instead. Then it continues. Then Esau said, "Let us journey on our way, and I will go ahead of you." But Jacob said to him, "My Lord knows that the children are frail, and that the nursing flocks and herds are a care to me. If they are driven hard for one day, all the flocks will die. Let my Lord pass on ahead of his servant, and I will lead on slowly at the pace of the livestock that are ahead of me, and at the pace of the children, until I come to my Lord in Seir." So Esau said, "Let me leave with you some of the people who are with me." But he said, "What need is there? Let me find favor in the sight of my Lord, little L." So Esau returned that day on his way to Seir. But Jacob journeyed to Succoth, and built himself a house and made booths for his livestock. Therefore the name of the place is called Succoth. And Jacob came safely to the city of Shechem, which is in the land of Canaan, on his way from Paddan Aram, and he camped before the city, and from the sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, he bought for 100 pieces of money the piece of land on which he had pitched his tent. There he erected an altar and called it El Elohi Israel. Right? So my question that I'd like to propose to you guys, which you can go ahead and fill up the comment section with your thoughts on this, right? I don't care for right or wrong answers. There's obviously right answers, but nothing has been fully confirmed as to why. Hence why I'm going to ask this question. So please feel free to write in the comments and let's talk about this, right? So my question to you guys today is, it sounded almost as if Esau had forgiven his brother and was ready to move past everything that had happened. So the question for me is, why did Jacob once again fool his brother? Why tell him, "Yeah, I'll meet you there," but then leave and go somewhere else? Why humble yourself before him if all you were going to do was be deceitful to him again, right? I'm curious to know, why not go back with his brother? There was a thought that came to me that was, maybe it was outside of the land of Canaan. And we know that the Lord wanted the people of Israel in the land of Canaan because that was the land he was going to give to them. But I'd have to look deeper into this. I'm not sure if the land of Canaan, the Seir, where the Edomites live, where the people of Esau, I'm not sure if that is essentially outside of the land of Canaan or if it's not. I would assume so, and that's probably why he didn't go there, and rather he was obedient to the Lord and decided to stay in the land of Canaan, where he ended up in Succoth. But who knows? What are your thoughts and comments? Let me pick your brain a little bit. Enjoy this Bible talk.